Hi, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. In this video, we're going to learn the 2 to 5 player game Kodama the Tree Spirits, designed by Daniel Solis and published by Action Phase Games. The trees of the forest are growing, and as a caretaker of the Kodama tree spirits who live amongst them, it's your job to guide that growth in favorable ways. Do your job the best, and you'll have the most content Kodama in the forest. So join me at the table, and let's learn how to play. To set up, place this score track on the table and put this season token beside the number 1 right here. These are the trunk cards. You'll randomly deal 1 face up to each player. I'm setting up a 2-player game, so I'll return these to the box. Notice there's a unique symbol on each trunk. These are called features, and you'll find matching tokens for them that each player should collect. The rest you can return to the box. Place 1 of each of the feature tokens you kept onto the 0 spaces of the score track. Each player should place their trunk against the edge of the table. I won't be able to do that during this video because I'll need to move things around, but keep that in mind when you're playing. These are the Kodama cards, and they come in 2 types, some that show a large Kodama and some that have small ones. You can use these small ones when playing with children, giving them a set with matching letters as indicated here. During gameplay, they're then encouraged to use each during the indicated season. Otherwise, you shuffle the larger Kodama together and then deal 4 to each player. The rest will not be used. These are the decree cards. Separate them by their back, shuffle them individually, and then deal 1 of each face down near the play area. The rest you can return to the box. Shuffle these branch cards into a face down deck and draw 4 from the top, laying them face up in the center of the play area. The winner and Kodama tokens you can set aside for use later. Finally, the person wearing the most green is now given the first player token. And that's the setup. In Kodama, you'll be playing cards to your individual tree that can provide you with points from a variety of sources based on the types of branches you play and how you arrange them. The player with the most points at the end of the game will be the winner. The game is played over 3 seasons or 3 rounds that are broken into 3 phases each, starting with the decree phase. Here, the first player will reveal the spring decree card and read it out loud. This will provide a new rule for the players this round. For example, this one says that at the end of the season, each of the players will gain 1 victory point for each branch they have with a cloud, flower, or mushroom on it. The leaf symbol here represents victory points. During the next seasons, also known as the next round's decree phase, you'll discard the previous decree and reveal the next one. Next is the growing phase, which is completed in turns, starting with the first player and going clockwise around the table 4 times. So that means during this phase, you'll get 4 different turns, and on each, you'll complete the following steps. First, choose any 1 branch card from the face-up display and attach it to your tree by placing the portion that extends off of the card onto the bark of another portion of your tree, like this. So visually, it should appear that each new branch is more or less naturally growing off of your tree. On your first turn, you'll need to attach directly to your trunk, but on future turns, you can again attach to the trunk or off of another branch that you placed previously. However, the newly played card can only touch 1 other card, so this would not be allowed. You also can't cover in any way any of the special feature symbols, so I couldn't place this card like this as it's partially covering up this cloud. There are 6 different feature symbols you'll find in the game: fireflies, caterpillars, flowers, clouds, mushrooms, and stars. Also remember, during the setup, I mentioned that each player's trunk should be placed against the edge of the table. And this is important because when placing a branch, you cannot put it so that any part of the card would hang off the edge of the table. Once you've decided on a placement, do your best not to move the card for the rest of the game. Also, after playing a branch, look at the various features found on it. You'll score 1 point for each of those instances as long as there's also those symbols found on the next card heading back down the trunk, and you'll continue to score points for those features as long as that chain is unbroken. But the best way to explain this is with an example on a larger tree. So let's pretend we're a few turns ahead, and now we have a tree looking like this. If on my turn I played this branch on my tree, there are now 4 possible features for me to score. For example, I have a cloud, but there are no clouds on the next branch it's connected to, so it scores nothing. It doesn't matter that there are more clouds down here here because the chain was immediately broken. That said, I also have 1 star here, and there's a star on the next branch, so that means each of these will score 1 point. There are no more further down, so I don't score any more points. And although there are more stars over here, this branch leads away from the trunk, so it is ignored in this case. I have a firefly on this branch, and there's 2 on the connected branch. Each of these will score along with the original one, and there's 1 more down here that's also connected for another point. And finally, I have a caterpillar on here, as well as on every card connected all the way back to the trunk, and the symbol on the trunk also scores. So that means by adding this branch, this turn I'm scoring 2 points for stars, 4 points for fireflies, and 4 points for caterpillars, for a total of 10. Points gained are then recorded here on the board by adjusting your markers. This raises one more branch placing rule. You cannot place a card so that it would cause you to gain more than 10 points in a single turn. That means I wouldn't be able to place this branch here. It also means thematically you can't simply grow a tree with one long extended branch. You're going to have to start branching out somewhere else. The whole tree matters. We saw that at the end of a round, you can also gain some additional points from branches you've placed based on the decree card, but these do not count against that 10-point limit. After placing a branch and scoring, you now add a card from the top of the deck face up to replace the one that was taken. If you're the first player, after taking your turn, you advance the season token 1 space. So in this case, I'd move it to the 1 position. After you've gone around the table enough times so that all players have taken 4 turns in a season, it is now the Kodama Phase. In turn order, each player now chooses one of their Kodama cards to reveal, scoring points based on its written conditions. For example, this one says that I should pick a card on my tree and then I'll score 4 points for each branch with a star that touches that selected card. After scoring a Kodama, return it to the box as it won't be used further. After the Kodama phase, the first player token is then passed to the player with the lowest score, which may mean the previous first player keeps it. If there's a tie for lowest score, give the token to the tied player closest to the left of the current first player. Now you start a new season with the next decree phase. Before going on, there are a couple of key terms that we should learn. If an effect refers to an end card, it means a branch that is only touching one other card. So all 4 of these are end cards on this tree. If an effect refers to being within 2 cards of your trunk, it means any branch directly touching your trunk or any branch touching another card that's touching your trunk. So every branch on this tree is within 2 of the trunk except for this one. The game will continue until the end of fall after each player has scored a 3rd Kodama card, leaving them each with 1 left over in their hand, which can be discarded. The player who now has the most points wins, and if there's a tie, the tied players share the victory. The winner should then take this winner card, which has instructions on it, to place these Kodama tokens into your tree, and then take a picture with it to share with your friends or on social media with the hashtag Kodama. And that's everything you need to know to play Kodama the Tree Spirits. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.